I want to speak about these old school plantation Negroes, Democratic shills, and sellouts who, for years, have secretly worked behind the scenes to undermine foundational Black Americans obtaining any real true power in this country. They now mad that rapper Snoop Dogg, Nelly, and Ashanti, and others are performing for the Trump administration. I don't see nothing at all wrong with it. In fact, I like it because what this does is it puts the message out there, in the eyes of the public that we ain't loyal to either party because we not. The only thing we loyal to is policy, you know, and ourselves as foundational Black Americans. That's the only people that we owe as foundational Black Americans. If you want the FBA vote, what are you willing to do for our people and our people alone? Now we mainly talking about cash reparations being allocated and distributed to descendants of freedmen, and if ain't no party talking about that, I'm in favor of holding the vote, not voting for either of these two damn parties because they can't shame us into staying on that Democratic plantation like they used to try to do the days of old and stand on that Democratic hamster wheel running in place without getting nowhere, because we with that FBA mind and spirit know that both of these two parties are wings off the same bird. Both of them practice anti-black racism, you know. And we done looked out for everybody to our detriment as foundational Black Americans, we have had no friends as foundational Black Americans, in the words of our brother, now ancestor John Henry Clark. You know what I mean? We have had no friends as foundational Black Americans. Now, he said African people have had no friends, but we had to revise that a little bit to fit what we're going through now with the delineation movement. We have had no friends as foundational Black Americans. And in fact, these other groups ain't even thankful. We done looked out for them to our detriment, and they get up there and talk bad about us and think they better than us, and them days is gone. We are now solely looking out for the interests of foundational Black Americans first and foremost. You know what I mean? And we ain't gonna be shamed into supporting anybody. Because I like it that these entertainers, because that's what they are. We don't look at them as no advocates for the Black community because we know that they just entertainers. So I think it's a good thing that they getting up there performing for Trump, because what this does is to the young mind, it said that if my favorite entertainer is up there performing for him and they Black, they must not be that bad and all that racist, because when I was growing up, we were just taught to see things as the right wing being the biggest racists of all times and turning a blind eye to the Democratic Party. And this cripples you to a certain degree because you're locked into just seeing it from one particular point of view, when in actuality both of these two sides practice anti-Black racism. So I think it's good and freeing, this would be a good thing in freeing the young Black folks' mind to not just see racism through one lens, but see it through, you know, both lenses, because it comes from both sides, and their favorite entertainers getting out there, they'll think, in their minds, the young impressionable mind, that if my favorite entertainer is performing for the Trump administration, they must not be all of that bad. So in closing, I don't think it's a bad thing that none of these entertainers, Snoop Dogg, Nelly, Ashanti, and whoever else is performing for the Trump administration is doing so, because they just entertainers, and it sets out the message, out there in the lexicon, that we as foundational Black Americans ain't loyal to either party. The only thing we loyal to is ourselves, and we looking at things through the lens of a business deal. If ain't none of these particular parties talking the logistics and the time that we on, we ain't rocking with either of them. Just my thoughts on the matter. Peace.